Hey guys, welcome back, Marius here, and today we have GreedFall. Still GreedFall, and well, this is my final review. I'm currently in game just so I can show you how awesome it looks. Just a reminder how beautiful this game is. But that's not the only stat we are looking today. We are of course going through all the parameters I have set and well rated for other games. So okay, let's not waste our time and I'll just show you right away how and what I did for the game. So well, I did nothing. That's basically the score and everything you can see, but I will quickly just run through. As you can see, there are a few areas: graphics, story, and experience are, in my opinion, the best quality of the game. And there are two parameters which are not highest, so that's music and cinematics. So okay, let's jump right into every aspect of the game and I'll quickly give you full review, so maybe that gives you some more information about game called GreedFall. I love it. Just a disclaimer. Okay, so let's start with graphics. First is graphics. I am naming pros is grass is 5 stars. You will find sometimes at the right angle how grass is combined, so that's like five stars. If you look from above, it's not that great. And the cloth actually, okay, just because you're asking this. Actually, no one is asking this, but anyways, so 5 stars are right here. You see from above, right where I stand, you can find a pattern, and you can see the pattern, and that's just I don't know, just something about it feels weird, but that's the only possible thing. And then you see the cloth, how it is wobbling where my cape is. That's just a little bit annoying. Otherwise, cloth work is fine, but the wobble is the only thing that somehow I don't know. But again, that's absolutely minor thing, because for the cons we have beautiful graphics. You see in the background, I will leave it, the fog, the sun, the foliage, the texture, the everything, the details. That's why I mentioned great details, rich environment, and that's the strongest suit for the game. I absolutely adore the graphics, what they did. Keeping in mind, this is not a AAA billionaire company. They are pretty amazing. That's amazing job, guys. So I gave straight away 9.5. It's just the graphics is absolutely this star 5 grass star 5-star thing. Probably if I haven't noticed, I haven't mentioned, you haven't noticed it. It's just, anyways, let's move on. There's a music in the background, actually. Jesus Christ, in the background you should be able to hear it's a music by Oliver de Rivière. There's no memorable original soundtrack, and what I hated the most about music is repetitive palace music. Whenever you enter a palace you will enter it a lot in the game, there's always one and the same soundtrack, exactly one soundtrack, and it's so, once you notice it, there's no way back. That's why it's just no. But in general, there are positives. That's why it came out in as 7 anyways. There's great sound, like fighting, the sword clinging and all that, and the voices are absolutely great. That really bumps up this rating. Why? Because of the local language. I will just quickly explain. There's a local language. There's English speakers, and then there are natives, and natives sometimes at some cutscenes, when they talk, when amongst them others, you will understand nothing. because they have their own language, and if you have subtitles turned on, you will see when they speak in their language. And when they speak with you, they will often use their own words from their own language, which is absolutely amazing. And once you start remembering them and understanding what they mean, it's just really, and it just goes under music, under basically sound effects, let's call it. And yeah, there's a combat music. Whenever you're approaching enemies, there's combat music coming up that is pretty nice, and that I absolutely love. So that's why it comes out at 7. Okay, let's move on. The worst rating of it all, I couldn't give you more than 5. It's still 5 because there are some cons, but pros, this is the biggest pros that everyone mentioned. In cutscenes, there is video out of synchronization from audio. So, and it's not like random, it looks like half a second or second is delayed, and that's it. So my expectations is they will find where and how it just delays, and hopefully there will be fix for it. And when the sound matches the lip sync, they will sync up, then this goes away. It is an issue. There will be a lot of cutscenes and talking and everything. To be honest, just don't look at the lips. It's just read the line, just look at anywhere else. That's my only suggestion. And for the cinematics also, sometimes you wear some armor hat or something, and they do some kneeling or some poses or something, and it absolutely it's not going well together. Sometimes it's just weird how sword goes through some body parts or something like that. That is a little bit problem. And the only cons I can give is there's in-game characters. They are not using like separate cutscenes where suddenly, it's popular in the games, when suddenly when they are speaking there's different clothing, different something, like they are pre-recorded characters used. In this case, no, there are your in-game characters with all the armor you have changed, you have used, and your custom face, obviously. So basically, it's, in my opinion, that's a good bonus, but overall it's just 5. I can give you only 5. So cinematics are fine. It should be actually less. Okay, fine. Fuck it. Because yes, there's too much cutscenes to give you 5, so I'll go with 4. Sorry guys, but that's an issue. Okay, but let's get to the best part of the game. This is story. Okay, to be honest, that's their story. You could object for some points, why did this happen or that happen, but that's not objective. All right, for objectivity, there's nothing I can say they did wrong, because it's that's the cons. Non-linear, which means you can approach the main end story with different, however you want. Basically, there are many paths how you can do, and every side mission, which basically is another side story, is also the outcome is absolutely for you. So that's non-linear. Immersive absolutely captures you, everything that happens there, basically. The main story, I will not spoil anything, but it's I came with high expectations and they beat them. Whenever there will be exciting twists and turns, and like, Jesus, that's pure 9.5. And actually, if I would be generous, that would be pure 10, but 10 is really rare from my side. So that's basically the highest rating I'm giving. That's absolutely, the story is amazing for this game. All right, we need to move on, otherwise of course I will have a long video. Pacing is also something important. Those who don't know what pacing is, in such games there's always some blockers that basically you need to pass, or basically you are hitting against if you somehow approached it too soon, or otherwise game is pushing you either it's pushing or either it's holding you back, and that's always when the game developers push their own how to say idea how this play and how fast this game should be played. This is not the case. Sorry, checking the sound. This is absolutely not the case. It's oh, nice sound. So that's why its already rating is 9. Why? Because it's absolutely from player. It's player chooses where to go, what to do, to go around enemies, to have extra dialogue options, or pay to get benefits and get better experience. It's all basically, for me, it was really awesome. I never felt grinding. There is never something like holding me back. The advancement and character progress is linear. What I mean linear, it doesn't go like really fast at the beginning, like first few levels, and then you have to grind because every additional level is taking extra. It felt absolutely naturally the same effort. Basically, you do things, well, what I did, the exploration and everything, and in the same pace you gain the levels and ability points, and it just felt so natural and so easy, greatly balanced. I'd say it's absolutely greatly balanced, and I don't know, I have my own playstyle. I don't know how it goes if you go fully explorational and I don't know, never fight anything. That I don't know whoever does that, but in my opinion, pacing is absolutely perfectly balanced. So 9, it's just 9. For the content, so what's in the game, what we have there, it's my only pros in here will be a bit more open world, because the world is split into areas, and whenever you go from area to area, you have loading screen. Basically, if you fast travel, you have double loading screen because it loads you in between campsite. I don't know why it's needed there. Okay. Campsite. I don't know why, because whenever you fast travel, there's most likely you're traveling to the camp, so and you have your residence, you have in every map you can have your inventory, loot box and companions again, and crafting table, and I almost never use this campsite, so that's why probably the content it's something that is too much, in my opinion. But in sense of cons, there is you feel like it's open world. Whenever you come to a new area, it's actually a problem when it's fully fully open world game, because those who have OCD, and not only those, but those who like to do everything, like explore and everything, you have to in your mind set borders that I will explore this area and then go whatever how it's called, tactic you use, but you need to explore it and then move on to some other area, and then again making your mind borders to explore, to fully explore. In here it's being taken care of. You have the feel that it's open world, and you're basically given some quite big area in the cities and everywhere, and whenever you explore it, it doesn't feel like, oh, I want to go there. It's like you open a new, go to the other area, and it's again new big chunk of world you can explore. So it is free exploration, and by free exploration, what I meant is there are some areas. Oh, that's why I mentioned also, yeah, with few story limited areas. Like you go there and you see like it's meant to go there, but there's some blocker, some cliffs or something. At some point, it is a bit annoying, but well, once you realize you will get there whenever there's a mission leading, it's all fine. And there are really few areas. Otherwise, everything is open. You just freely go and explore. I never run into and the final mission, yeah, it was closed. It's basically you go wherever you want, and that's great. That's great for the content that the game provides. I like it. So I gave it 8 because those are just minor. As I said, in my opinion, that actually also is a bonus, that there's areas not fully open world where you basically get lost, or you have to set in your mind boundaries to explore chunk by chunk. Next part is game depth. Game depth also is actually it's deserved. In my opinion, it's deserved. It's RPG, story-driven game, and I'd say they lived up to expectations with skills. That's basically like you have skill tree where you can get new things, and then you have attributes, which basically defines who you are. Then you have talents, which is another like 3-layered definition what you are. But keeping that in mind, it's free character build. It's not like you chose warrior, then you have your own set. It's like at the beginning you choose your class, but afterwards it's up to you how you build. You can pick up warrior, go in warrior skill tree, let's say, and then pick something from magic, and then add something from poisons or traps or but it's just absolutely great. And not only that, it's hard to write everything there, but party buffs, it's something that each of those aspects, talent, no, attributes can't be buffed, but skills and talents can be buffed by your party members. So basically how you compose your party also gives you some extra buffs. And then there's a crafting, which also provides you bonuses. And then there's alchemy, which is poisons and traps and everything related to that, ammunition and lockpicks, and then overall it's just, I don't know why I mentioned the last, relationships with your companions. You need to improve them to get those bonuses, and not only with companions but also with factions, and every decision you make impact one and another. So basically whenever you go in favor in one party or something, someone will get disappointed for that. So it's always, and it's so that's why it goes under game depth. It's not like whatever, I do what I want and at the end it will be fine. No, it will not. And I took some really hard decisions and gained negative reputation, and just prayed like, no, please still be friendly, because there's some threshold you need to bypass, and then if you got extra friendly, then you can take a little bit relationship hit, the minus, and it still will be fine. So it's the depth, in my opinion. Keep in mind that I gave already for story, because story is absolutely great. They could run with any of the deck. This could be just story-driven game, but no, they went full with skills trees, character builds, abilities, reputation. Great. 9 points. 9 points. Simple as that. Controls is, I was thinking, somewhat clunky movement, and combat depends if you use the pause option, because there's an option for tactical advancement in the fight. Later in the game, I was just I had a build and composed my companion, my party, like I never needed to pause anything. I was just went full healing, buff, armor, or something, everything, so no one died, and we just fought until everyone is dead from enemies. So that's why the controls, I never felt the clunkiness, but you will see how it's built, how the world is structured. To be honest, I'll be honest. I'll just take it down, because controls, it could be more responsive, and basically the world, whenever you find a little branch or something you can't go over, and sometimes you just go through the bush in forest, and it's like, and I never knew I can go through it, and then you approach like exact same bush, and nope, that's the crossing line. No, you need to go over it, not over but around it. So it's just sometimes these, and whenever you get in the door when there's always your companions get stuck, it's good that when you start running in direction out, they are in the door, they will turn around and go in the same direction. It's pretty good advanced tactics used, I'd say. So yeah, there's intuitive controls, what you expect, Jesus Christ, that left from what you expect, not in turn-based games, but in RPG games. RPG story-driven games, to be exact. Yeah, there's nothing that bad. I just dodge. Yeah, I'd say it was never. I never changed anything from default settings, and that's a good sign, which means the people who are behind it understand how player thinks, how player goes. So there's many times when you open a new game and it's like, who the hell decided that's a good idea? Like, no way. But yeah, here 7.5. It's good. It's fine. I'd say it's, yeah. Gameplay. For gameplay, my only pros is there's a lot of traveling. There's like, let me put it in this way. There's a lot of traveling, and combined with the content where it's not fully open world, there's a lot of loadings. That's what I'm basically telling. So that if you somehow could limit, that's, I don't know, the areas could be bigger, or basically the loading. If the loading screens are super fast, if you have super fast solid state drive, then probably it will be not as big of a deal. But that's my only, I'd say, concern. Cons. For cons, I have balanced fighting. Yeah, not fighting, but balanced fighting, talking, and running. So in RPGs, there's always a dialogues, and sometimes they're so uninteresting and not immersive enough that you just want to skip them all because they're pure, and sometimes you can't skip them. Here, every sentence can be basically skip forward. So basically, you don't miss out if you just read quickly subtitles and then go forward. And then there's a fighting. There's not too much fighting. For example, I don't know, some games, bad comparison, but many times there's just one quest, then you go slay hundreds of enemies, loot them, and then come back, and then you have next quest. And it's in here, the fighting is actually really small amount, I'd say, because there is also exploration and everything. So I felt it's quite good balance. That's what I'm trying to explain. And okay, for the gameplay, the also awesome thing is choices matter. Whenever you choose something to kill somebody, or let it go, or turn a blind eye, or whatever, trust me, that's obvious thing nowadays already. You know that you will face the consequences later. And sometimes there was one actually stupid thing that was way too long. It actually took effect when it backfired to me. And I was like, Jesus, I should choose something differently back there. And so that's for gameplay. It's really cool that you feel that there's interaction with the story. So there's a main story. It's hard for me to tell how big of a difference you can make out there, but you feel the interaction on every step, on every decision. There's always a decisions to make, and always basically a branches of you went that way or you went that way. And it's for gameplay, it's absolutely, you know how it's important in roleplay games. So 8.5, it's, I think, absolutely deserved. And the last one, it's basically the most important, to be honest, in such a genre. you already see there's 9.5. That's experience. And what I mean by experience is basically what you feel when you play it. And the only downside, it's probably maybe just me, but the final. And by final, I mean final mission, like the absolute last, I don't know, not cutscene or something, but it felt like I wanted more of the game and not the not post-credit, actually. Credits came after, but there's a final explanation. I don't know, I felt like maybe it's just game was too good. I wanted something, not something, but I wanted it more. But rest assured, this is just a minor, my only, so there's not two empty fields. Absolutely amazing feeling. The story, it just pulls in. At the beginning I was like, I like the trailer when it was firstly announced, but once you start playing, you actually experience, you get to know people, you get to know companions, and you get to basically entangles you, that everything just drives in, and it's, I don't know how to, oh, I know how to put it in the words. It is really amazing game. The experience, the choices you make, the consequences you see in the game later on, and how where it leads to, combined with the story, how it's driven, and basically the whole story which you live through by playing this game. I'd put actually 10. It's great. It's really masterpiece, I'd say. So 9.5, and as you can see, the overall rating 8.2 is my score, keeping in mind I gave 4 in cinematics, because guys, this out of sync is not good. please make a fix for it, and the game will absolutely shine in close to 9 or 9 out of 10. So guys, GreedFall. This is GreedFall. I will close this section, and everything will be down in the description if you want to go through. Probably you don't. Who does that? But I will just quickly jump back in the game, because now you see there's a nighttime. There's fog still going on. Let me get into the woods, because this is a. You see what I meant when I said this graphics? You see how it feels, how it looks? It just absolutely... Look at the lights, look at this game is so beautiful. Guys, if you haven't seen, if you are thinking about playing it, I definitely suggest you to do that. I think sun is coming up. The morning is here. Oh. This is not the only scene where it absolutely shines and looks amazing. I hope you enjoyed, and trust me, if you want some really awesome story-driven game, you will enjoy the game as well. So this is my final review. I absolutely recommend this game for everyone who loves such types, and you will not be disappointed. And okay, I think this is it, guys. You know the drill. If you know someone who is interested in the game and just doesn't know how it feels, how it goes, what's the gameplay, and what's the downsides, upsides, feel free to share the video. Costs you nothing, right? And clicking share, the like and subscribe obviously helps me, but that's not the important part. The important part is, you know, there's an awesome game out there and you can play it, and it's called GreedFall. Alright guys, thanks for watching, cheers, and we will meet in next videos.